Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today's tutorial we are going to be making this braided block. So I came up with this one because the last one I worked, where we worked the chains and then we braid them or weave them up, I thought I want to do it a different way to where it's more of like a granny square. And I couldn't tell you guys if I've seen this somewhere before, but I sat down and I thought, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, and this is what I came up with. So, a couple of things before we do get started with this tutorial that I want to talk about. One, as always, I'm sorry about my air conditioner running in the background. It is just too hot to shut that off. So I'm sorry, you will have to put up with the noise. Second, you guys can probably tell, I do not feel the greatest. I don't know what's going on. Like, I honestly, the only way I could explain it is my face feels sick. I don't know. But anyway, so there's that. And then, in this tutorial, I show you how to make this block, and then I tell you how I make my dust cover by, I tell you guys how I stitched them together. I slip stitched them, and then I steam blocked it on the back only, and then I did 2 rounds of border. But I tell you guys all about that at the end, if that's what you want to use this block for. I have a basket. I don't know, it's about a foot long by like 5 inches wide maybe, and I keep my gaming console controllers in there, and they get dusty, so I thought I'm gonna make a dust cover, and that's why I decided to come up with this block. But so I tell you guys about that, and then I also want to tell you, or show you actually, I did a little bit of experimenting with my tension on my chain. Here we go, right here, you can see it. So for 2 of the blocks out of the 1, 2, 3 by 4, 12 blocks that I did, 2 of the blocks I did my tension on my chain real tight, and then the rest of them I did just casual normal chain, right? And I did that because I wanted to experiment and tell you guys how it'll look if the tension of your chain. So if you look, like this is but steam blocked already, okay? If you look, can you see how this block, the chains look flat to the work, where on this block and these other blocks you can see that the chains still stick up? That's the difference. This is the block one of the 2 blocks that I worked with a real tight chain. And then the rest of the blocks that you can see still have that chain sticking up off of the work. So, I mean, I'm going to leave it up to you. I personally like the look of the chain looser than tight. I don't know if you can see that very well. But I'm totally going to leave it up to you guys. And let's see, what else do I need to... Okay, so that was all of my notes, so I'm going to go right into the supplies. Now, I did use a 4 color combination for this. The peach, the purple, green, and then the lilac color, and then went back to the peach and the purple. But you guys can use any color combination you want to with this. I think, and I should have thought about this more before I had started this, but I think I should have done every round a different color. Oh my gosh, or a rainbow. Dang it. I should have done that, a rainbow. That would have been very, very pretty. And then sewn it all together with the last color of the rainbow. Hindsight, ugh. Anywho, so you guys use any color combination you want to. Like I said, I did the 4 color combo, and I used, so this first one, they're all this brand. I love this yarn, super soft, from Hobby Lobby. It's a 4 weight, and they recommend a 5.5 millimeter hook. I actually used a 4 millimeter because, like I said, I was designing this for a dust cover, so I wanted as little holes as possible. But you guys can use any hook you want to. But let's see, this is, it's right there. Oh, you can tell I don't feel good. This is 100% acrylic, And oh, the color is, this is light peach. And then this is same stats. And this is grape. And then this one is spa. And this one is periwinkle. So those are the 4 colors I chose. And like I said, I used that 4mm hook, but you guys use whatever yarn you want to use, whatever hook you want to use. My square, now I have not blocked this, but my square came out with my tension and the hook I used and the yarn I used about 5.5 inches. Yeah, about 5.5 by 5.5 inches. But like I said, that's before I blocked it. So there is that. One last supply I do highly recommend are stitch markers. And depending on, and I tell you in the tutorial, where you want to use them depends on how many. So I would just suggest get a handful of stitch markers, okay? We use them to identify half double crochets because those are a pain in the butt to identify. So that, and then of course you guys know, as always, when you're crocheting something, you need scissors and a needle to weave in your ends, okay? I do want to tell you guys, I'm sorry, my cat got me, and he got me good. It hurt. So that's what those little scratches are, and the Band-Aid. Yeah, and that's it. So, I mean, you guys can use this for all kinds of projects. I'm sure you guys can come up with them. Baby sets, that'd be adorable. Alright, so get your guys' supplies together and let's get started. Alright, to get started, let's go ahead and get a slip knot on our hook. And as always, make sure you have plenty of tail to weave in. And we are going to start with a chain of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Come down and we're going to slip stitch into the first chain to form a little ring, just like that. I'm going to pull that tail tight to tighten down that chain that we slip stitched into. Go ahead and chain 1. And if you want to use your stitch markers, go ahead and grab them. Grab me one. Alright, now we are going to work back around our ring 3 single crochets. So 1, and I am working over my tail. So here's where you might want to use your stitch marker. I'm going to mark my first single crochet. So that was 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to chain 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And like I said in the beginning, it's totally up to you if you want to work your chains tight, if you want to work them normal or loose, or it's totally up to you. Alright, so now we're going to go back into our ring with 3 single. 1, 2, 3, chain 10, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to scooch that chain 3 over, single crochet 3 more times, or yeah, you know what I mean. 3 single crochet. So we have, so basically what we're doing is creating our corners. So we have, right now we have 2 corners. You know, the chain 10s are our corner marks. So I'm scooch this chain, or 3 single over, chain 10, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, come back down with 3 single. Alright, so we got 3 corners, we need 1 more, so we're going to chain 10 again. chain 10. All right, now we're going to come back down to our first single crochet, remove that stitch marker, and we're going to slip stitch right in there. Chain 1, pull up a loop, and we're going to cut. My scissors look dirty. Okay, so I'm going to pull that tail out, and I'm going to pull that tight, but I also want to keep the slip stitch to the side of the top of the stitch so I can see that's my first single, okay? And I am going to weave in my ends at the end of the block, only because weaving them in at the end, or let me rephrase that, waiting to weave in the ends helps for being able to find my stitches. So like if I weave in my ends, sometimes it hides the top of the stitch, and it's a bit on the harder side to find to find the top of the stitch. So I am actually going to wait, and I'm going to go on to round 2. So I'm going to get my next color and then get a slip knot on my hook. And of course, don't forget, make sure you have plenty of tail to weave in. I'm going to go ahead and get me some slack. And now, get off me, I am going to find a single crochet to attach into. And my kind of rule of thumb is that I never attach into the single crochet I fastened off in. I'm going to go, you know, I kind of like to stay away from it just so I don't continually have a line of attaches and you know, fasten offs, I'll say. You know, I don't want that line to follow up, so I'm going to go just completely on the other side, and I'm going to find my first single. So if I kind of pull this out, I can see 1, 2, 3 singles. So I'm going to attach into the first single crochet of this side with a slip stitch, chain 1, pull that tail tight, and I'm going to go right back into that single with 2 half doubles. 1, I think I completely missed that. Go right back in there with 2. Now I highly recommend to mark that first half double crochet. It does become a bit of a bear to try to find the first half doubles, just because half doubles are a little harder to find. You know, you've got your, they're a little bit harder to find the top of the stitch. I'll show you in a minute whenever we get around. Okay, so we've got 2 half doubles. We're going to half double into the next single, and then work 2 half doubles into the last single. So we have 2, 1, 2. And now throughout the rest of the pattern, we're not going to chain 10, we're going to chain 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Alright, so we're going to come down, pull apart your chain 10 so you can find your 3 singles, 1, 2, 3, and into that first single we're going to work 2 half doubles. And if you need to, mark that first half double, okay? And don't worry about where your chains are laying, because we can just untangle those once. Oops, yeah, that was right. We can untangle those later. So if, you know, this chain's in front of your chain 10, don't worry about that. Alright, so now we are going to half double into that next single, and then 2 half double into the next single. Chain 12, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Rotate. And now the first single on this one, I can see that there's my slip stitch. So if I just slide that over a bit, it'll open up the top of that first single. So I'm going to go right in there with 2 half doubles. Mark that first one if you need to. Half double into the next single. 2 half doubles into the next single. Chain 12. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm going to rotate, pull these chain 10s apart, find my 3 singles, and 2 half double into that first. There we go. Sometimes they're a little tight. Half double into that next single. 2 half doubles into the next single. Alright, now we're going to chain 12. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And come back down, and we're back to our first half double crochet. So if you look, you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 half doubles on each side of our square, okay? So I'm going to come down and slip stitch to that first half double. Chain 1, pull up a loop, and we're going to cut again. What is the deal with these scissors? It almost looks like the blades are bent. I can feel them catching. Stop here. Okay. I'm actually gonna pause and I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. I'm not feeling 100% today. Okay, let's pull this out, and remember I'm gonna pull it tight, but I'm gonna also pull it to the side so I can see the top of that half double. So this is what our squares should look like so far. It's a bit of a mess, but we'll get that taken care of. Okay? So now I'm going to grab my next color, and again, slip knot on my hook, and enough tail to weave in. Alright, so now when we attach to these half doubles, I want to show you guys how these can be a bit of a nightmare to see, the half doubles I mean. Just because the post, you know, if you look at a half double, right, you can see the post coming up right there, right? But the top of the half double is, when the stitch is facing you, is always to the right of the post. So, okay, I've got an upcoming project set in here, and I can show you what I'm talking about. Alright, so like the post of a double crochet, right? So if you look, here's my double crochet. Can you see where the legs of that blue single go into the top of that double? You can see that the top of the half double crochet is, or I mean the double crochet right here, is sitting to the right, just a tad bit, right? And the same thing with the single. The top of that, the single crochet is setting just a tad to the right of the post of the stitch. But with a half double crochet, it's a lot farther over. So here's the let me get a needle to point with. Oh, I'm sorry. Alright, so if you look, here's the actual post of the half double, but the top of the stitch is a lot, you know, is quite a bit farther to the right of the post. So that's why these are a tad bit harder to see, because, so, alright, I'm gonna attach on this side, because remember I want to stay away from where I fastened off. So I'm going to attach on this side, and I'm going to hold this like this, and I want to know if you guys can see where the top of that first half double crochet is. I'm just going to hold it here for a minute and I want to know if you guys can see. So if you look, we have Come on, stop shaking. We have one post of the half double. There's the top of that half double. So here's 2, there's the top. 3, here's the top. And this is where it gets confusing. Can you see the top of the first? So here's the post of the second, right here. And then look at the top of this very first half double on this side. It's right there, but it looks like a chain, right? So that's why I recommend marking that first half double, because can you see how it'd be so easy to think that's a chain? Okay, so let's go ahead and move on. That's the last round of half doubles we are going to work for this entire pattern. Well, the last and only. Alright, so I'm going to get my work and I'm going to look. I can see slightly to the right of this half double is that one, and then this one is the one that's hard to see that looks like a chain, but it's in there, and that's where I'm going to attach. Well, I'm going to try to. I have to do it off camera. There, I got in there. Alright, we're going to attach with a slip stitch. Chain 1. I'm just going to go ahead and scooch that to the side. And we're going to work 2 double crochet in there. So yarn over, go in. There's 1, and go back in there for 2. And now we're going to double crochet into the next 3 half double. So if you rotate your work, you can see the top of your 1, 2, 3, 4 remaining half doubles. Double into the next 3. Oops. I got caught on my chain. One, 2, 3, and into the last half double on this side, we're going to work 2 double crochet. 1 and 2. So now we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 double crochet on each side of our square, okay? I have a piece of dead skin on the tip of my thumb and it's bugging me. I can see it on camera. Alright, so now we're going to chain 12. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Rotate. So again, find that first half double. And if you look, it looks like the top of a chain, so just find that post and follow it over. And that little one right there, that's the top. So I'm going to work 2 double crochet in there. There we go. All right. Now double into the next 1, 2, 3. And 2 double into that last half double. Chain 12. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Rotate. Pull your stitches apart. Find the top of that first half double. 2 double. Okay, double into the next 3 half doubles. 1, 2, 3, and then into the last half double, work your 2 double. chain 12, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, rotate. I can see the top of this half double real easy, right? So we're going to go right in there with 2 double. Double into the next 3 half double. Half double into the last, I'm sorry, 2 double into the last half double. All right, chain 12, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then we're going to come back and slip stitch into our first single or first double. All right, so the hardest part of this block is over. Chain 1, pull up a loop, and we're going to cut. Pull that tail tight and then scooch that slip stitch over so it shows more of the top of that double. Okay? So I promise that was the hardest part. Finding and identifying those half doubles. Okay, I'm gonna go to my next color. Get a slip knot on my hook. Again, plenty of tail to weave in, and I want to go away from where I just fastened off. So I'm just gonna go right here, and now you can see it's a lot easier to see the top of those doubles, right? So basically we're going to repeat what we just did. The only difference is we've got more double crochets between the first and the last double. So we're going to attach into the first, chain 1, and I'm going to pull that tail tight. Alright, so I'm going to go right back into that first double with 2 double. And now I'm going to double into each double until the last double crochet. So it should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So double into the next 5 double crochet. Four and 5. 2 double into the last. So we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 double crochet on each side now. Alright, so chain 12, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Rotate, find the top of your doubles, 2 double into the first double crochet, double into the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 double into the last double, chain 12, rotate, and then just repeat that. So I'm going to let you guys work this round off camera, and I'm going to get mine done, and I will come back once I've worked into these last doubles. So you can see the top of your very first double crochet right there, since we scooched that slip stitch over. Alright, so I will meet you after I work these last 2 double. I'll be right back. Alright, so I have repeated that around. I'm going to end with my chain 12. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Alright, and just like always, we're going to come down. And if you look, there's the slip stitch. Chain 1 is right there. There's the top of our first double. I'm going to come right in there and slip stitch. Chain 1, pull up a loop and cut. Alright, now I know it looks like a big old mess right now, but I promise once we get a few more rounds, we're going to braid all these up. Or I don't know if you would call them braid, or I mean essentially basically what you're doing is just weaving them in and out of each other. So I don't know if you would really call it a braid, but that's what I call it. Okay, so what round are we on? 1, 2, 3, 4. For round 5, now I go back to my main color, but whichever color you're going to go with, go ahead and once again get a slip knot on our hook, enough tail to weave in, and I'm going to come away from where I fastened off. I'm just going to come right over here, and basically we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to attach into that first double, the slip stitch, chain 1, pull that stitch, that slip stitch tight, scooch it over, and I'm going to go right back in there with 2 double. Alright, now this time we double crochet into the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, I need some slack. 5, 6, 7. 2 double crochet into the last. Chain 12. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Rotate. Find the top of that first double and go right in there with 2 double. Double crochet into the next 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2 double crochet into the last double. And that's what we're going to repeat around. So I am going to get mine done off camera and let you guys get your round done, and I will come back once I get to the first, or no, once I get done working into that last double, okay? Alright, so I will be right back. Alright, I am back, and I went ahead and worked my last 2 double, chain 12, and I'm going to come down and slip stitch into the first double right there. Chain 1, pull up a loop, and cut. Okay, so I'm going to pull that tail tight and scooch it to the side. So I want to start off this little portion by apologizing to you because I realized as I was working this round, I lied to you. I said that that was all of the half doubles that we were going to be working from in round 2, and I was wrong. I forgot that we actually work them in this last round of the block. All right, so lay your piece down, and what we are going to do is get our stitch markers. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. What we're going to do is take row 1, round 1 loop, and pull round 2 loop through it. Now we're going to take round 3 loop, pull that through round 2. Round 4 loop, pull that through round 3. Round 5, pull that through round 4. So that is what our braid section is going to look like. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark this, well, I'm going to put a stitch marker in it to keep it from coming out. So I'm going to come to this side, and don't worry about your tails, we'll get those taken care of. So I'm going to find round 1, Take that through round 1, round 3 through round 2, round 4 through round 3, sorry about that, and round 5 through round 4. And mark it. Come to the next. Looks like I split my yarn right there. Alright, round 2 through round 1, round 3 through round 2, round 4 through round 3, round 5 through round 4. And you want to see it laying, you know, laying up off the work a little bit. And I'm not twisting my chains like we did in that other block, or well, like that was the option of the other block. I tried it and I didn't like the way it looked, but you guys are more than welcome to twist a chain if you want to. Alright, find row 1, take row 2 through row 1, find row 3 through row 2, row 4 through row 3, row 5 through row 4. Give that a bit of a pull and mark it. Alright, so that definitely cleaned up our block, right? Okay, so now we can weave in these ends. So with all of the ends, you weave them in like normal, right? But this very first one, I don't want you guys to completely close that circle. So what I do is I just get my fingertips in there, pull it tight until it makes a pretty circle, and then I just weave in my end. So I continue around, because you can see my tail is coming from here, so that tells me that my tail started here and has already made a full revolution. So instead, what I want to do is lock this circle in place so it's not going to get bigger. So what I'll do is go ahead and go past where the tail started. Give it a little bit of a pull with my fingertips in there so I know it's not moving. And then I'm going to come back, skipping a strand or two. A strand or two of the legs of the single from round 1. Come back, and I'm going to do that one more time. And what that does is just lock that tail from moving, and it'll keep that circle. Alright, so just cut that, and then just continue weaving in your ends. And you can weave them, you know, obviously don't weave your ends through your chains, right? Weave them through the legs of the half doubles or the doubles, okay? So I am going to stop here, get my ends weaved in, and when I come back, we are going to work. What? Uh-oh. I did not mark my loop. Oops. Get in there. Okay. We're going to work the last round of the block. So get your ends weaved in, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I got all my ends weaved in, and we are going to start the last round, and I chose to go with the dark purple, so you guys can use whatever color you want to use for your last round. But as always, let me get a slip knot on my hook. Get plenty of tail. Alright, and I'm going to attach into any of the first half doubles, or I'm sorry, first doubles. I'm going to attach right into there just like normal. Chain 1, pull that tail tight, pull it to the side. I'm going to go right back in there with 2 doubles. Okay, now we are going to double into the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And now into the last double crochet, I'm going to work 2 double. So you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 double crochet. And now into round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Round 5, chain 12 loop, we are going to work 5 half double. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Jump straight to that next double and work 2 double. Alright, so I'm going to stop and show you guys what we got going on. So if we lay our block down like this, it's all kind of bunched up right here. So what I do is I get in there and I grab that chain from round 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, round 5, and then I just scooch these half doubles all the way to the top of that chain 5, and you can see now how that lays, like that. Okay, so now I'm going to continue with a double into the next, was it 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep. Alright, double into the next 9. Dang it. It's because I don't have slack and my skein is squished, so it's, the yarn's not coming out easy. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Alright, 2 double into the last double. Okay, and now we get that round 5 and go straight in there with 5 half double. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so now I'm going to jump straight to my next double, which it's a little wonky looking because right here is a slip stitch, chain 1, and then the slip stitch to close the round. And right there is the top of my first double. So I'm going to go right in there with 2 double. And I'm going to stop, and get in here, get a hold of that chain, and pull all these half doubles right to the top of it. And then it'll lay right like that. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and let you guys finish working that around. So 2 double into the first double, double into the next 9, 2 double into that next double, 5 half double into your chain 12 from round 5, 2 double into the first double crochet, and then I stop and adjust all that, double into the next 9, 2 double into the last, repeat that again, and I will come back once I get my 5 half double into this last chain 12, okay? And then we have just a few things I want to talk to you about, okay? So I'll go ahead and finish this side, this side, and work the 5 half double, and I'll come right back, okay? Alright, so I have worked that around. I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch to my first double crochet right there. Chain 1 and pull up a loop. Okay, so I'm going to pull that tight, and I'm still going to pull this to the side, okay? Because I still need to be able to find the top of that double crochet, especially, you know, if you're using this block to you know, you're gonna make several and sew them together or stitch them however you want to. So I need to adjust this. Alright, so you can see that the block is still pretty wonky, right? Like it wants to fold and everything. So what I did is I made several of my blocks, enough to make my dust cover. Get this out for you guys. Enough to make my dust cover. Stitch them together. I didn't work my border yet, and I stitched them all together, and then I flipped it over. Try not to bump my camera. I flipped it over and then blocked it, and that really helped lay that down nice and pretty, nice and flat. Not flat, but you know what I mean. I mean they're still slightly raised, but so in, you know, working these even in a solid color, I bet these would come out really pretty. All right, so what I want to show you now is that if you do, you know, if you are going to sew a bunch of these together, I highly suggest, again, marking that first half double, which on one side of your corner, it's going to look like there's a chain one right there, right? Looks like there's 2 double and a chain 1 and then your first half double, but it's actually not. That's actually the first half double crochet. So I highly recommend that if you're going to sew these together or slip stitch them together, however, mark that first one and mark the last one if you want to. You see how this side, you can tell it doesn't look like there's a chain 1 right there? See how different it looks? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the 2 double. So like I said, I highly recommend marking that first half double crochet. And then when I stitched these together, I worked, so I don't have another block to show you this, but so I put my 2 blocks together, right? I put, so like pretend this is a block and this is the top of my block, the right side of my block. I laid right sides together, turn to where I'm gonna stitch, and then I would find that third half double. So let me mark this. Mark my first half double, which looks like a chain, right? So I would find on one square my first half double, second, third, and then on my second square, I would find the first half double, the second, and the third. Attach into that third, and then what I slip stitch mine together, but slip stitch into the back loops of each square all the way across, and once again find your first half double, your second half double, and then that third half double, and then that's where I would stop. So I would go from third half double to third half double on your corners on both squares. So all your squares together that way, and then once you get to your cross seams, so on the back, so you can see I have a cross seam right here. So what I would do is work into my third half double of the corner all the way across. Well, this third half double has already been worked into, so I would come to the second, chain 2, jump across to the next square, and then work into those back loops from the second half double, the next half double, and then across the doubles, and then again get to that second half double, the third's already worked into, chain 2, jump across, and that's how I did the cross seams on the back of my work. And then once you get them sewn together and you're ready to block it, go ahead and block it, and then once I worked my border, all I did was just double crocheted all the way around twice. But I hit my coffee. Once I got to the remaining loop, or I'm sorry, the back loop that we worked into whenever from that third half double, I actually just worked 2 double crochet decrease, the first part being into one square, the second part being into the next square, and then I just double crocheted across, and then into the third half double I worked 3 double crochet, and then repeat that around, slip stitch, chain 1, and into the third double crochet of the last round of my border, I worked 2 double, chain 2, 2 double. Or I'm sorry, those are half doubles. 2 half double, chain 2, 2 half double. But you guys can do whatever you want for this pattern. And that is it. That's all I did for this. And then I am remembering right now, sorry, I should have said this earlier. I did end up blocking cat hair. I did end up blocking it once again, steam blocking it on the back. The 2 rounds of border that I did just to get it to lay nice and pretty the way I wanted it to. It's still got a bit of a loop or a dip right there at that seam. That's all right. But that's it, guys. Super quick and easy, and amazing. Like, I thought for sure these blocks would take a little bit longer than they did, but they really didn't take that long at all. They went pretty quick. But that is it, guys. Thank you so much for watching my tutorial. Sorry I'm not feeling up to par on this one. But as always, hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't so you don't miss what's next. And leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys think of this little block. And also in the description box there are links to my Facebook group, my Instagram. I would love to see how you guys use your imagination to come up with all the different color designs using this block, or even just the different projects you come up with. Alright, I'm gonna get out of here. I will see you guys in the next one. You guys are the greatest. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.